some winners and losers. You guys let me know when you have who you like as a winner. I'm looking at this. Yeah, Felder, you got something?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Pats, man.
Yeah.
I mean, all those picks, I know they do it all the time. But
Identity changing.
Exactly, just like you said, identity changing picks. It's a new regime. Vrabel decided he kind of liked the way that Belichick did it. I'm going to try to do it kind of like that.
Right.
And so he's going to come in there, and these new guys are going to show up, and they're going to have to show. They're going to have to show out too, because he's going to be a hard grader.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to look at the Raiders. This is a team that has a new general manager in John Spytek. They're, obviously have Tom Brady's influence there a little bit as well. They just rebuilt their offense. Ashton Genty is that dude the second he walks in. Mm-hmm. Jack Bash can develop into a number 2 or number 1 wide receiver for you. You get Darian Porter at corner, who just has so much size and speed and special teams ability. You take 2 swings on the offensive line, and Caleb Rogers, who I think could be a starter for you at guard, and Charles Grant, who I think could truly play tackle. You got a deep threat in Dante Thornton from Tennessee. Taka Hemingway and J.J. Pegues give you some depth on the interior of the defensive line as pass rushers. Tommy Millott is going to make this transition from quarterback to wide receiver. I have no idea if it's going to work, but he's athletic.
Yeah.
So I'll take the swing there and give it a shot. Okay, I think he got a little cute with Cam Miller over Quinn Ewers, but I'm not going to kill them for that. And then Cody Lindenberg, the linebacker from Minnesota in the 7th round. But to me, what the Raiders were able to do in their first 6 picks of the draft completely changes the identity and the look of their football team on the offensive side of the ball under Pete Carroll.
I love that. For me, I'm going to go to the Chicago Bears. Absolutely love what they did. I think they hit a home run, especially early on, getting Colston Loveland. They needed a tight end. He was my tight end one in this class. Getting Colston Loveland at 10, getting Luther Burton III, another wide receiver in round 2. Ozzie Trapilo, offensive tackle out of Boston College. They knew it. Listen, we talked about it. Maybe Darnell Wright flips back over to the left side like he did the year before he came out of Tennessee. And then you put Trapilo at the right tackle spot, getting that freak of nature Shamar Turner, who could play D tackle all over the defensive line at like 280 pounds. Ruben, the linebacker out of Maryland.
Yeah, Hippolyte.
Yeah, Hippolyte. Zoff Frazier, developmental corner out of Texas, San Antonio. Luke Newman, and then getting Kyle Monunga. They needed a running back. They hit on a lot of different things. I feel like if you're Caleb Williams, you're really happy with what they did. Like they addressed the defense, they got depth on the offensive line, and got you potentially three new playmakers on offense.
Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. Look at some losers of this draft. It's always hard to designate losers after the draft.
Yeah.
And it's not the draft class to me for the Saints because I love Kelvin Banks, Vernon Broughton, Jonas Sanker. I don't get the plan at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Tyler Shuck, it's a great story because he's been in college, I think, 7 years now. He's been through 3 serious injuries. But when you take Tyler Shuck at 40, you're telling me that you believe he's potentially...
He starts soon.
Right. If Derek Carr's as hurt as we are led to believe, like the clock is going to be on Tyler Shuck, and you better be right about that pick.
Yeah.
And Tyler Shuck, it's not just over Shadur Sanders, right? You can make the argument that it's a couple different guys, but definitely they'll be judged on that decision.
Yeah.
Maybe they're right, but to me, I like the look of what they've done with this draft from a roster standpoint. I don't think they're going to be able to take steps forward because they're so hamstrung at quarterback.
Yeah, that was mine as well. And like to your point, the rest of I like a lot of the other picks they made, but you took Tyler Shuck at 40. So what you're telling me is if Derek Carr can't go, we should expect him to win the QB battle over Spencer Rattler in training camp. We should expect Tyler Shuck taking the first team snaps in the preseason and being the guy week 1.
Right.
When you make a decision like this at 40, that's what you're telling the fans. And I said this today. I like Tyler Shuck. I liked his tape, but the injuries, and I felt like the 3rd round at earliest was where I was.
Yeah. What about you, Felder? Any questions today?
Originally, I was going to say the Browns.
I thought about them too.
But then we saw Quinn Ewers. And I can tell you what, I think that took a lot of heat off of that Browns situation. So I'll go with Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
It's just tough for him, man.
It is tough. It's tough. It's compared to what we thought he could be one day.
Yep.
And now he gets to, like Brock Purdy, potentially rewrite his story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a longer road when you're the 7th round guy compared to when you get into camp and you get real number 2 or even number 1 reps.
Absolutely.
So I'm with you. And Shedeur Sanders, we're going to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
You know, the one positive for Shedeur, he has a chance, you'd think, the Browns control some of this, but in terms of talent, to be the starting quarterback week 1.
Yes.
Like, out of all the places he could have gone, there's nobody on that roster that you go, Shedeur can't beat him out.
Yeah. I really feel like he walks into that room with that boulder-sized chip and say, I am going to beat Dylan Gabriel out for QB1.
Oh, he'll be on a mission for that one. It's really if they can get away from the comfort food that is Joe Flacco.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Which
for sure.
you think at this point they should be able to. But the Browns' strategy is going to be fascinating because you told everyone you thought Dylan Gabriel was, 2 rounds earlier than Shedeur, and then you took Shedeur anyway. So, and it's okay if you were wrong. Mm-hmm. Like if Shedeur shows up and outplays everybody and you start Shedeur, nobody's going to criticize you for that. But it's going to be about opportunity and how we had this conversation. How are the reps divvied up? We'll see. So, yeah, the Browns have quickly become the most interesting summer storyline.
Oh, absolutely.
Overnight. Shedeur Sanders with the tweet, "Thank you, God." The one thing for Shedeur is Kevin Stefanski's a hell of a coach. There's a reason he's a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, and he knows how to formulate an offense. I do wonder. I kind of was hoping Shedeur would go to a New Orleans, that dome type environment. Cleveland is a ruthless place to throw a football.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if he can overcome that.
Well, they got 2 new running backs to lean heavy on.
And they will. Those guys are going to be fed. They're going to be fed. As Donovan Mitchell says, welcome to the land, Shedeur Sanders, the guy that made